a monkey, Derek. He's like, Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, are we cuter than ever?
I guess so.
I think we've got plans tonight, but I feel like we need to go out on the town, you know? Maybe ballroom dancing. Are you familiar with such?
No.
Me neither. Know a song. Paul McCartney wrote a song about it. We can listen to that on the way. I'm sure it'll teach us.
About ballroom dancing?
Yeah.
Okay, I've had enough of this conversation.
So the big news today to me is that Tyson Fury plans on his final fight. He's already planning his final fight. It's going to be in 2020. Talked to BBC Sport. It's 2019, so he's saying next year. He wants to fight Wilder in February. He said he wants to fight Wilder again in June, and then he wants a farewell fight to end his career, and he wants to walk away at the top of the sport. Is that good or bad news for Tyson Fury's future, Rachel? What do you think about those comments?
I mean, I have no idea. Like, that's his future. It's his decision to make. And I think athletes can leave the sport in different ways, you know? Like, some athletes leave it because they have to, right? Other athletes leave, like, after having spent, like, every last ounce that they have and put it into the sport just because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And then some leave, you know, at the top of the game.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders is what I was going to... Yeah, same thing. Barry Sanders walked away at the top. He was the best running back maybe ever, a lot of people think, and he walked away partially because he couldn't win where he was in Detroit. That's a little NFL for you. Anyway, I don't know. When I hear a fighter talk about getting out of the sport, especially when the fighter's 31 years old, I wonder how in it to win it Tyson Fury is. Now, Tyson Fury is a different sort of guy, so I think that first of all, he says a lot of things all the time. He says all sorts of stuff.
What's the context for this?
What do you mean?
Well, like, Tyson Fury's the type of person, like, he talks a lot, right?
That's what I was saying, yeah. He talks a lot.
So, like, is he just, like, you know, kind of...
Is this promoting? Are you promoting Tyson?
Right. Or did he sit down and have, like, kind of an in-depth conversation with somebody? You know what I mean?
He was being interviewed, but you still don't know. He kind of puts his promoter hat on and kind of talks big things. You know, he always talks about how he's going to go in there and I'm going to knock this guy out, and then he boxes off his back
Wait a minute. Is he in his WWE character?
That's the other thing.
And maybe this is completely made up?
He's also promoting that. And we saw him on the ESPN card. They interviewed him as if the WWE was real, right?
Right.
Remember that? And I love that. I love when people just go all in. We all know it's not. We all know what the WWE is, and so I like that. But that's another thing, right? When you see a guy who comes back, he's in his prime of his career, but then he's taken time off from boxing really to do the WWE thing. That's not boxing. That's something else. And then he's talking about...
Maybe you think he has a future in the WWE.
He might. I mean, he said he wants to be... I'll leave the link in the show notes from the BBC interview. I read the majority of it. He said that he wants to spend time with his family. He's got a bunch of kids. He's married. He's a family man. To him, at least, and I've seen this multiple times, that's the most important thing to him is his life and his family, which I respect. I just wonder if you are kind of thinking about the end, does it keep you from being your best in the present?
Yeah, I would say generally that when a fighter starts talking about that, I start to question, like, well, I just start to think that there's something else going on here that maybe you're preemptively, like, kind of getting defensive about. Like, you want to, like, go ahead and what is that called? Like, I don't know. But you just want to go ahead and kind of start your narrative, you know, for the people before they find out what you already know. Now, I don't know what that could be, but that's what I tend to think when you start talking. Because this really doesn't matter right now. Like, why does this even have to be announced? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why even talk about this? Like...
Yeah, and then your next fight is going to be against Deontay Wilder. Arguably the hardest hitting heavyweight in history, at least one of them. And I think that Wilder, although he's a little bit older than Fury, I think Wilder has entered, and we'll see Wilder before this. He fights Luis Ortiz next in a rematch. But what I'm getting at is I think Wilder has improved, keeps improving, and so I wonder. I feel like Tyson Fury, you're going to have to be at your very, very best. You're going to have to be better than you've ever been to beat Deontay Wilder because you've already gone 12 rounds with him. You got out of that fight with the draw. Some people think you deserve the nod on the judges' scorecards, but at the same time, 9 out of 10 refs would have stopped that fight when you got knocked down in the 12th round. That's just the truth. That's just how boxing works, especially after we just had so many tragedies in the ring. They would have stopped that fight. You would have lost by knockout. So I wonder, I'm just curious and what you guys think. What do you think about Fury talking about retiring? What do you think about his chances of beating Wilder? Here's the other part of that I'll mention briefly. If you, let's say Tyson, I'm sure Tyson Fury plans on beating Deontay Wilder, right, in the next fight. Why would you then fight Wilder again? Like if you
Well, because I think the thought process is he's like, I'm going to win the next fight, so then we have to have a...
But why would you have to have a rematch if you probably should have been given the scores in the first fight? Or it was a draw. I mean, if it's a draw and a win...
Well, if he's thinking about it from a fan's perspective, a fan would want, like, the 3 fights. Like, if a fan is unsure, then the first fight was a draw, and then the second fight, Fury wins, like, it's at least worthy of having the 3 fights. Like, I think that's situationally, it's worthy of 3 fights.
But isn't it, as a fan, wouldn't you rather see the winner, presumably Fury, in the second fight? Wouldn't you rather him fight the winner of Joshua versus Ruiz to crown an undisputed champion?
Oh, well, yeah. This would be in my thought with, like, Fury not retiring. I have no idea, like, if he's like, I'm retiring December 2020. I have no idea why 2 of your fights would be against Wilder. Like, why you go ahead and plan that out.
So just some curious comments. Now, if we did a video every time Tyson Fury made some curious comments, we would have tons of videos just on that. So I don't think we have to take all of it with a grain of salt. But what you don't have to take with a grain of salt is anything and everything we say. We are always super serious. And that's not really the truth. So don't take that. Take that with a grain of salt. But thanks for watching our show. We appreciate you. We appreciate you hanging out with us, talking about our favorite sport, which is boxing, and our favorite people, which are fighters, and us, of course. And also we thank you for...
you.
Yeah, and you, our best boxing friends. So like, comment, and subscribe.
And just to clarify, the WWE is real. It is scripted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scripted. Those guys, I mean, I'm amazed at what they put their bodies through and what they do in a boxing ring, in a wrestling ring. But yeah, they predetermined winners. Hopefully it's not like that in boxing.